It is another interesting edition of the Economy and Politics Show where we bring you key developments as it affects the households. This edition will discuss the RT200 and Nigeria's quest for an attractive foreign exchange market. I have as my guest Dr. Muda Yusuf, the CEO of the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise. Nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Thank you, Doctor. But before we begin the conversation, let us give you a key wrap of stories from last week. Taxpayers who have outstanding foreign currency tax liabilities can now take advantage of the Federal Inland Revenue Service 1-month window to settle these liabilities in Naira with effect from March 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2022. This is according to a public notice released by the service and signed by the Executive Chairman, Mohamed Nami. Also last week, the United States of America and United Kingdom announced a ban on the importation of Russian crude oil, which has brought significant disruptions to the global energy market. We go on a break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation.
Tune in to Web TV Daily to stay up to date and informed on the financial market, personal finance, and more. We have got you covered with all your favorite TV shows, economy and politics, market review, women's series, millennial talk, Islamic Finance Weekly, The Brief, exclusive interviews, events, and we keep you up to date on all the updates in the financial market with the market opening gong. Watch premium content. Watch Web TV. Same news, different perspective.
Welcome back. And if you're joining us, it's the Economy and Politics Show, and our conversation today is on the RT200 billion program and in Nigeria's quest for an attractive foreign exchange market. My guest is Dr. Muda Yusuf, the CEO of the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise. Dr. Milo Yusuf, let's begin with the recap of last week's stories. The FIRS has issued a 1-month window for taxpayers and business owners to settle their foreign currency tax liabilities in Naira. Would you see this as a business-friendly approach?
Well, for me, it's a very good development because we all know what the challenges are with our foreign exchange market. Liquidity is a major issue in the foreign exchange market. So for any business owner, any major stakeholder in the economy, to any stakeholder for that matter, to have access to foreign exchange as a desire has been very, very difficult. Not just for the big companies, even for the SMEs. So I think it's a welcome development that we have this window. The additional issue has to do with the disparity in rates. In the official window, we are talking about 416. In the parallel market, we are talking about 570 or 575. So if the stakeholders are not able to access the official window, the alternative they have is the parallel market. And how many people can afford to now buy at that rate in order to meet the obligations of the tax authorities? So I think it's a question of fairness and equity that because of the dysfunctional foreign exchange market we have, it's only fair that we allow the stakeholders or investors who have foreign exchange liabilities to pay in Naira and pay at the official exchange rate. And this should just not be a 1-month window. It should be a permanent window until we're able to sort out all the anomalies in the foreign exchange market. I think that is the only way that it can work, because if after 1 month this is suspended, we'll be back to square one.
Yeah.
Because the market is dysfunctional. The policies are dysfunctional. So that is the reality.
Right. That's very clear. I mean, we need to really address the issues in the foreign exchange market. And that brings us to the new Central Bank of Nigeria RT200 billion FX program, which has been rolled out. This is an ambitious target of CBN to diversify its foreign reserves from dependency on crude oil earnings, looking at the non-oil sector and what they can do. Some people have given their views about it. So from your perspective, is this a game changer for the nation's foreign exchange markets?
No, for me, it's not going to change anything, because you still have the fundamental issue of the exchange rate. How would you tell an exporter, for instance, we are expecting that we should be able to get 200 billion from non-oil exports in 3 to 5 years? Let's even start from that. How realistic is that as an ambition? Right now, we are getting less than 10 billion from non-oil exports. So how do you move from 10 billion, even less than 10 billion, to 200 billion? You know, it's a good dream, but how realistic is this? So for me, it's a bit ambitious. It's aspirational. Well, it's good to be aspirational, but it's also good to be realistic. The second point is that for as long as we have this dysfunctionality in the foreign exchange market, this kind of incentive cannot deliver any results. You take an exporter, for instance. The exporter earns his or her export proceeds. If you allow the exporter to have free access to his dollars or her dollars, as the case may be, you can take it and exchange it at 570 or 575. Now, because the exporter doesn't have direct access to the export proceeds, you give the exporter at 416, you now give a rebate of 65. It's still the exporter is still a loser. That's it, penalizing the exporter. So the only way that we can create a sustainable incentive is to allow the exporters or whoever is bringing in FX into this economy to have free access to the FX. That is one. Alternatively, we have an R&E window, that's investors and exporters window, that is purely market driven. If you have that, there will be no need for all of this RT200, all these rebates. They'll be unnecessary. What we need is an R&E window that is market driven. All these other things that we are running around is like beating around the bush. The R&E window is not a market, it's not a market window. It's not market driven. So I don't know what the problem is.
Okay,
that the CBN doesn't want the market to be the rates to be market driven, to be market reflective. I don't know what the problem is, quite frankly, because that is the solution to all of these problems. Even the inflows into foreign exchange markets is going to improve dramatically if you have an R&E window where you have a market rate, willing buyer, willing seller. You have a rate that clears the market. That is what we need. It's very simple. It's simple economics. More inflows will come from exports. More inflows will come from FDI. More inflows will come from portfolio flows. More inflows will come from the oil companies. More inflows will even come from the embassies. Even MDAs that are generating foreign, like NIMASA, like NPA, they bring their foreign exchange there, and we will find the liquidity, and the exchange rates will even improve and inspire more confidence in investors. That is what I think should happen. That's a very simple solution.
Very clear. You've said that we need a market-driven FX regime or markets. What you're seeing is not the essence of that, and it's very important that we see that commitment. I felt that the Central Bank of Nigeria has started talking about that commitment to moving to market-determined foreign exchange markets. But from what you're saying, you need to see the practicality. So as the days unfold, we hope to see that reflect, though there's still that debate from your own side of a market-driven foreign exchange, and the other side that talks about a managed floating system. So we'll just continue to check those updates and see how it goes. But let us look at the current situation now. Russia-Ukraine tensions, and Nigeria is supposed to be earning from this period over $130 per barrel crude oil price regime. But it seems that we're not going to make it because of the challenges of volume productions, amongst others. From your perspective, how will this whole crisis affect Nigeria's ability to earn more foreign exchange and boost its reserves?
There are two issues around the current situation with Russia and Ukraine, as far as taking advantage of position or situation is concerned. The first is the fact that most of what we get from the whatever windfall it is, most of it is flowing back in terms of the importation of petroleum products. Because the higher the crude oil price, the more money we make from foreign exchange in terms of foreign exchange earnings, but the higher the outflows as well. Because we are importing 100% of our petroleum products needs. So we are as vulnerable as all the other oil importing countries. So it's been net off kind of. Whatever we gain from the windfall, we lose through the importation of petroleum products. So that is one challenge that we have. The other challenge is the challenge of oil theft. Now we have oil price going up. We have this massive oil theft, which has been going on for quite a number of years. And it's making the whole oil producing area looking as if it's a completely lawless zone, as if it's a space that is ungoverned. Now, practically all the offshore investments that the oil majors have, they have walked away from it. They are divesting from all the onshore facilities. They are moving to deep offshore. So it's a state of helplessness, almost a state of hopelessness, as well as ensuring the security of our pipelines, of our crude, of our facilities in the oil producing areas is concerned. And that's a major worry, because the primary purpose of government is to ensure the security of lives and property. On one hand, we are dealing with the Boko Haram issue. On the other hand, we are dealing with this terrible oil theft. People are stealing the oil, bunkering, destroying pipelines with impunity, unimaginable impunity. Of course, that is not good for our country. Yeah. And our government needs to step up. I must commend what Governor Wike has been doing in recent times, although it's coming a bit belated.
Yeah.
But look at the kind of atrocities that have been committed in that space. We cannot justify it. Under any, we cannot justify it. It's a complete breakdown of law and order. So how do you get investors? So the oil thefting is also a major factor impeding our opportunities, or impeding our chances of making more money at this time. So those are the two factors. The factors of the oil theft and the factor of the fact that we are massively importing petroleum products. So there's a lot of outflows of even the foreign exchange that we are getting, which of course is a tragedy of our situation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muda Yusuf. You always highlight the issues. I mean, for over the decades that I've known you and engaged you, you always hit those key issues and re-emphasize the need for those things to be addressed. For the foreign exchange market, you've continued to maintain that there's a need for a market-determined foreign exchange market in Nigeria. And until that happens, even this ambitious plan of the Central Bank of Nigeria, though applauded across quarters, you say, will just be an aspirational plan. And we just hope that the monetary policy authorities take note of this and look at how they can address those critical issues around this foreign exchange market to attract investments, alongside the need for governments to also address those concerns around massive importation of crude oil products, as we look at the refineries and various private sector investments in the country. And that time to address it is now. Thank you once again for the time. Dr. Muda Yusuf, CEO of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprises, and this interesting conversation on the RT200 billion FX program and Nigeria's quest for an attractive FX market.
Thank you very much, Otto. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And that'll be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show. If you have questions and comments around this RT200 billion FX program and Nigeria's quest for an attractive FX market, send your views, comments, or questions to Ottoabasi.Abasiekong@proshng.com. Also join our website, www.proshng.com, to read our latest news, articles, stories, and reports on the Nigerian economy. You can engage us via social media platforms displayed on the screen. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching and have a nice day.